Hello and welcome to UC Today. My name is David Dungay. Today I'm joined by Ian Reither, co-founder and COO of Telnyx. Welcome to the show, Ian. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for having me on.
So, Ian, today we're going to be talking about serving customers in multi-regions with Operator Connect. But before we get into that, do you want to give us a quick overview, Ian, of yourself and Telnyx?
Yep. My name is Ian Reither. I am one of the co-founders and chief operating officer at Telnyx, which you had previously mentioned. Telnyx is a connectivity provider offering a wide variety of services across communications and networking products, AI-centric, API-first company. We're unique in the way that we manage our own actual network and we provide a compliant suite of services globally.
Great. So let's get into some key challenges. At the end of the day, we're all here to solve a lot of those challenges. But as you see things, what are those key challenges that businesses are facing at the moment when it comes to their communications across multiple regions? And maybe you could reference a little bit how Operator Connect is really, solving and addressing some of these issues.
Sure, yeah. Managing communications across multiple regions is complex for most organizations for a number of reasons, including fragmented legacy communication platforms, inconsistent service quality, and really varying regulatory requirements. Even future-forward enterprises can find themselves juggling multiple provider contracts and really kind of disconnected, disparate platforms. Operator Connect allows businesses to consolidate their communication needs under a single provider while leveraging the Microsoft Teams platform. That simple setup and management makes it easy to implement. End users are also familiar with the platform of Microsoft itself, so adoption of the calling capabilities is actually really high. With Telnyx, our self-service Operator Connect offering allows businesses around the world to provision numbers and enable Teams calling in really just a matter of minutes across what is now 61 countries. And that really kind of reduces operational complexity.
So, I come from a world where, 10, 15 years ago, everything was about call quality and uptime and having those 5 nines sort of resiliency. What does the landscape look for call quality at the moment? How can customers ensure they still get that reliable call quality and uptime for their team services, across these multi regions?
Yeah, just like 15 years ago, call quality today is still critically important and often really kind of the number one thing that businesses are looking for when they're choosing a partner. Reliable call quality and uptime depends on really the underlying network infrastructure. A lot of providers out there are relying on the public internet to move their voice traffic, and that just by nature of design introduces latency and jitter, which often results in fragmented and dropped calls. Operator Connect offers a direct peering relationship with Microsoft, and it really minimizes a lot of those points of failure. At Telnyx, we route calls over our own private global MPLS network, and that network was really purpose-built for real-time comms. So we're ensuring high-quality, low-latency calls for Teams users, even in really kind of bandwidth-constrained or remote regions. We have 17 global data center points of presence. We route call media to the closest point of presence to minimize latency and really enhance that reliability. And our multi-cloud network means businesses can benefit from industry-leading uptime to really give them what they need on the calling front.
Yeah, I feel like customers these days they have so many options when they come to the market, and not just from a provider point of view, but from a technology point of view as well. Maybe you could talk a little bit about those customers. When should they be using an Operator Connect in kind of this multi-region scenario versus going with another option like native calling plan, perhaps?
Yeah, I think Microsoft's calling plans might work for smaller organizations with like really single region deployments, but they're often quite limited in terms of coverage, in terms of pricing, flexibility, and call quality. Operator Connect was designed to help was really designed to help businesses navigate these shortcomings by providing a really global coverage, better call quality, and better rates than what you're going to see on the native calling plans. Operate Connect from us, businesses have access to a really large pool of both local and toll-free numbers, and really high quality at a very competitive rate. So just like as an example, our bundles start at just $2.50 USD versus $11 USD with Microsoft. Businesses can choose the pay-as-you-go model to really enhance that flexibility.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier there, Ian, that you're available in 61 countries. Of course, these 61 countries or regions will come with their own set of complexity, their own sort of compliance and regulatory requirements. What role does Operator Connect play in compliance with these regional telecom regulations and, of course, data privacy laws?
Yeah, I mean, compliance is a massive challenge, but it's critically important for the enterprise, especially when they're having to operate across multiple jurisdictions with varying telecom and data privacy regulations, and just to deal with that in one country alone is a real headache. But when you start to have to do that across continents and countries, it becomes often nightmarish for businesses. Operator Connect helps these businesses navigate those complexities by really ensuring that they're partnering with compliant local operators. I can speak for ourselves. We adhere to rules and regulation around local number portability, emergency calling regulations, and really how the phone number must be used. We operate our business with a very strong focus on data privacy for GDPR compliant voice, and we offer a number of privacy, compliance, and security features such as geographically distributed data routing to meet really regional legal requirements. So, for example, you can select to have your call data stored in a given region and not traverse out of that region.
Great. I mean, let's talk about those local operators for a moment. I want to talk a bit about it from a cost efficiency and support point of view. How does partnering with these local operators really benefit those global businesses from cost and efficiency point of view?
Yeah, going straight out of the box, Microsoft Teams calling plans start at $11 and USD, and they can go up to as much as $32 per person per month. And that really just makes it pretty costly for large enterprises looking to consolidate communications onto the Microsoft Teams platform. Operator Connect gives businesses more choice through access to cost-efficient, localized calling services that still get that kind of same global reach. So, through this construct, instead of managing multiple carrier relationships, enterprises can work with a single provider like someone like Telnyx to negotiate a better rate, to consolidate their billing, and really not compromise on global scaling or quality. Yeah.
So, I mean, there'll be a lot of viewers, watching here today. Some of which may have, multi-regional offices and operations. What kind of advice would you give to those viewers today who are considering Operator Connect as an option, for their multi-region communication needs?
Yeah, I mean, you really got to align with a provider on the platform that can facilitate your global ambitions, and you need to do that with somebody who has real infrastructure, and by that I mean is managing an actual network, has access to their own telephone numbers, has actual calling infrastructure in a given region to reduce latency, and is able to evidence that they're compliant in a given jurisdiction. I think someone like Telnyx, with presence in over 60 countries, is definitely a leader on that front. I think that we have unmatched call quality. We have 24/7 proactive customer support, and we're wholly dedicated to removing the complexity around going from PSTN calling to Teams.
So, Ian, I think that's probably a really great place to end today's discussion. But thank you so much for joining me and sharing some of your insights around Operator Connect and these multi-regional formats.
Thank you very much, David. It was a pleasure.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on UC Today. If you liked today's conversation, please give us a like and a share on social media. That's it from me. See you next time.